Click.
Oh, are we recording about?
We're recording now.
What I don't think and what I do think. So what we're doing today is a very, very, very top secret and special thing. Okay, so I've been working with the Ukrainian government on a special seed because Russia's invaded their country and they're having shortages on grain. And they actually contacted me, this guy Vladimir, and he has, through the proper channels, has gotten me a type of seed. It's soybeans, by the way. They're not, it's nothing, to me, they don't look any different than any other soybean. But these soybeans are designed to be planted long after your initial planting of whatever variety. It doesn't matter what variety it is, but they're designed to be planted after that. And according to them, on 30-inch rows planted between the rows of a grain drill. And it is going to enhance the beans that are already there to produce like 40 to 60 bushels to the acre more than they normally would under their own power, I guess, in their own variety. So with that being said, and we got them in through customs, the whole 9 yards, and it was a pain in the ass. I actually didn't think we were going to be able to get them, but we have them. They are paying me about $400,000 to do this experiment, and yeah. So I will gain about $400,000 in revenue just by doing this. If it doesn't work, then it's no skin off my ass because I got paid to do it. And if it does work, then it could be a new thing. Now, these beans will be directly shipped from the port to Ukraine. All I have to do is get them there. Yep. All I got to do is get them there. So I'm working on that part of it. With $400,000 in my bank account, then I can easily buy a trailer, a hopper trailer, a really nice hopper trailer. It has the folding tarps and everything that you would need to not get out of your truck. Because, you know, we're just a bunch of lazy farmers now. And now, because of this war, I'm going to profit big time from this. It's going to be totally awesome. So it is going to be totally awesome. So, as hard as it is to actually just run over these soybeans, I mean, they're here, they look okay, right? They do look okay.
Yeah.
They are a bit...
There's some bold spot in the middle there.
No, that's where the grass was. We did have slug damage in these, but this seed has actually got this clear coating on it that has a natural, well, it's like nanobites, I guess is what they call them. It's like nanotechnology. So whatever this nanotechnology is, it's supposed to like eat any other insect. Gets near to it, it's a biological warfare kind of a thing for these soybeans. It's going to be pretty awesome. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this goes. The money's already been deposited. I told them I wasn't going to plant a damn thing until I got my money. And, you know, fortunately, that's what I did. I'm quite happy. Beans don't look any different. They do have a little bit of a green tint to them though. And I thought that was like, they almost look like immature beans. But for the most part, good. Don't much care. It's going to be a wonderful experience, and I'll let you follow along as we go through this process. Can't tell you much more about it other than it is like regular. These are actually Liberty Link Roundup variety, which kind of shocked me because those guys traditionally, Europeans don't want Roundup Ready, but I guess when you need a food, you just do whatever you're going to do. Hold on one second while I program this in. it is. It wouldn't let me do the... Okay, so there's that. And here's this. I am having problems with the corn planter. Well, the now bean planter. So let's do that. I don't need to do the new one. No. I should not have to do this. That's all. That's damn thing. Yep, it's a field. It's a hood. And backed by popular demand, the 24-row corn planter. It is out there. It is doing its thing. It is beeping at me. This thing, there's a sensor. There's a mercury switch in there. What do you think, Will?
I'm thinking good.
You're thinking good? Well, that's good. It means we're planting corn, right? Yeah, we're going to get this corn planted. Today, I'm hoping to get about 170 acres done today. I'm not pulling an all-nighter because I'm going twice as fast as I was before. Because I'm pulling 24 rows, not 12. And the nice thing is, we had a little bit of an issue. I came down from above there. I didn't have the vacuum on, which was good, but I noticed that it was kind of like the chain was turning like it was planting, but it was out of the ground. Me and William kind of figured that, I don't know, something wasn't right. So, anyway, I've had that happen before, and it spits the seed out at the corner, at the ends of the field, and I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen, but everything's working correctly. The seed is getting to the proper depth. Teresa has run the VT over this, just one shot. This is where the peas were. Ah, oh, come on already. All right. You don't want to... There it goes. So this is where the peas were. We didn't VT this to plant the peas, which I think is a little bit of a mistake because these peas just didn't work out the way I wanted them to. I thought they should have been 5 times the size as what they are. Either it's just not the proper pea for this area, or just... No, hold on to it. We're just about done. It was either not the proper pea for this area, or it was just too cold at night, which we did have a lot of cold nights. But you know, whatever. Alright, so. Okay, so. Alright, so I've been planting, I've been planting corn. So behind us, behind me is this 24 row 7200 John Deere corn planter. I had somebody the other day on Instagram, I was doing a live, asking me when I was going to do an upgrade in corn planters, and I'm not offended in any way, but I just upgraded. I went from a 7000 to a 7200 last year. Was the first year with this particular corn planter. I planted 1300 acres into dust. Major drought, and major drought does not do you much favors when you're attempting to make a living on corn. What happened, it's quite simple. Sorry about that. I'm trying to get my tripod up on here. I'm going to go ahead and set you all up, and you can actually watch me unfold this crazy thing. Anyway, maybe I won't. Anyway, planting into those conditions, no-till with a grass cover crop, a multi-species cover crop. I had a couple of different things on some of this ground, and some was just old hay fields, like this farm that I'm leaving right now. I decided this year that I would spray it about a week before I planted this crop. Unfortunately, the week before turned into 3 weeks because of rain. Severe, large amounts of rain. So that's just life, right? That's just life. That's the way it goes. It's the way the cookie crumbles, as my grandmother said when she was alive, and and that's fine. So what I'm doing now, really, is we put the fertilizer down about a week ago, the nitrogen down, fertilizer, nitrogen. Then yesterday, Teresa VT'd it. And it really doesn't look bad. I'm going to flip the camera around here as soon as I get my corn planter going in the right direction. So you're going to have to deal with this. I'm going to go ahead and you can watch me unfold it. Let's see what happens here. We are on neutral. You got to put it in neutral. And what you do is you put down your wing wheels. Right? There goes your wing wheels, and that drops the upper cylinders. Then you drop your hitch away, and then you release the latch. Boom. And then you do this. And very gently, very carefully. When it gets to the end, you have to really be quite careful because the damn thing, as of the last couple of, well, yesterday and today, it's decided that it wants to actually just pop the cotter pins out of the brace arms, because if I go too fast, it just puts too much pressure on them all at once. So I go slow here at the end, and boom, and we're good. Now we hit plant, you'll see it jolt a bit. See that? That's the release of pressure. Then you pull it all the way up so that she's all the way up. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to back her up into position like so. I don't need to go too far back because I'm going to overrun those end rows, or yeah, the end rows, not headlands. They're not headlands. So I'm going to fire that up. She's going down. And the nice thing is when you put it down, you'll put it down and you'll see that end settle a little bit, but you really kind of want to make sure that those wings are all the way down. And we've got to turn on my computer. That's going to boot up. It does. It is giving me the no seed falling through there thing, and that's what it's doing. And now I'm going to go ahead and spool that bad boy up. I'm going to throw her into gear like so, and away we go. I will watch that thing. I'm going to hit that. Oop. Let me get my GPS where it needs to be, which is good. And let me flip you around, and you can see what she's doing back there. So I hooked it up. I've got this Starfire or Green Star monitor on there, and what I'm doing is running that. I'm planting right into the fence row. I should probably not do it quite that tight, but the reason I'm doing that is because when I get down here, it's not, there's a slight bend in the fence line, so it'll be right in the middle. It'll be kind of a bulge. You can see I'm just hitting into the fence row. Eventually, I would really, depending on how long I have these farms over here, I'm hoping to have them for the rest of my career. But eventually, I'd really like to just shoot some chemical into those and kill the underbrush, and actually get the 955 cat out and push that fence line out. This property is different than that property, but that fence line, it's a shared fence line. It's all dead ash trees, just dead ash trees. So there you go. I think this corn planter was sold because it has a little glitch, or I just don't understand the full functions of it. It is not giving me a population count, which I don't care. I know that I'm going at the right speed, and the vacuum is set for sets at about 18 to 20 pounds of water. So I'm good there. I'm okay with that. But yeah, I actually like this corn planter a lot. My problems that I had with it last year were my problems. They weren't the corn planter's problems. They were my problems. I gotta watch and make sure this thing is I was having problems with it just spitting seed out. It wasn't behaving itself. There we go. And that's the turnaround. And we are probably still... No, it's working. I'm going to stop because it doesn't drop fast enough. Well, I've got it set up for 5 seconds, but I should have it set up for 8. Because that couple, 3 extra seconds, you know, that's 5, 6, 7, 8, those 3 extra seconds are what will actually bring the wing. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be kind of busy here. I just want everybody to know I'm not going to quit making videos. If you took that video I posted that way, I have no intention of stopping making videos. It's really just explaining as to why I'm not showing what I used to show, and you know how rather disappointing it is to be in this situation. You know, it's not a bad situation. I mean, I put myself there, but and I will deal with it. I just need to be a little more forthcoming with my property owners, the ones that are new. The old property owners, they're great. Actually, all my property owners are great, but the new ones, they don't understand fully how this works. And as for long-term leases, for the most part, you know, in New Jersey, it's very different than any other parts of the country because we have these things called farmland assessment. They need a farmer to be on there, and you know, we really do a service to the property owner more than anything, and it's not without value. You know, that's the other thing. It has a tremendous value. If you had a 100-acre farm here and it was taxed the way the state would like to tax you, which would be residential, you wouldn't be able to afford the taxes on the property. It's not like in the Midwest where it's like $15 an acre. At least that's what it used to be. I'm not sure what it is today. But back a few years ago when I was out in the Midwest, I asked one of the farmers out there that I was associating with what the tax rate was. He's like, well, for farmland, he says it's like $15 an acre. The house is a little bit more. Well, what's the house? Like $22 an acre, you know? And we only have an acre for the house, and whatever. And plus, there's the house itself is taxed, which is like $400 a year. Well, in my opinion, $400 a year, that's not bad, because here it's $6,000 a year for an acre and a half if you're lucky. I shouldn't even say lucky, but that's about normal. I'm going through a washout, and I like to shut my booms off when I do that. Yeah, so don't get the whole thing wrong as to what I was saying. But it's not terrible. It's just that I have to be really careful. And there's people that watch what I do and they just shake their head because it's not what they would do. And they take that bit of information and that's what they approach other property owners with. Like, oh, well, he's not doing it like it should be done. He's not doing proper agriculture. Well, proper farming practices. Well, that's, you know, I'm not organic. I'm never going to be an organic farm. But there's a point to organic. There really, truly is a point to organic. It's really the old way of farming before Monsanto. And it has its place. I am really just a hybrid. So if you're watching this and you are one of my property owners, thank you for allowing me to farm your ground. And I appreciate every one of you. But, you know, I do this hybrid kind of a thing. The regen agriculture, if you understand the fundamentals of it, you can tweak it. You can tweak it to fit your operation. And what I've done with it, I've seen good results. I know there's farmers out there like, oh, it looks like a weed patch, and he doesn't know what a plow is because it's all, you know, it's when he goes over it with that vertical tillage machine, it doesn't work anything up. It just kind of chops things up. Well, that's true, and not true. I work about that deep. I want the roots to find worm channels and go down through those worm channels and root channels from the previous year's crops. And that is where there's a lot of nutrients. And that's where the biology in your soil lives and thrives. So there is a method to my madness here. And, but, you know, I'm using herbicides, obviously. I choose my herbicides for the effect and what I'm doing. You know, you're not 100% going to get away from insecticide or herbicides. Insecticides, on the other hand, yes, you will. You can get away from insecticides, and I strongly encourage you get away from insecticides. Insecticides are a detriment to the ground, just terrible. They kill all bugs. They're non-selective. There are a few that are supposed to be selective, but you know, they don't kill beneficial insects. I don't know how that works, but anytime I ever used insecticides in the past, didn't matter what it was, everything died. Whether it was a organophosphate or a pyrethroid or any of those, you know, wonderful stuffs like chloridane and Furidan. Those were the good old chemicals, right? That stuff, everything died. Mice died, birds died, deer died. You had those chemicals in your field. Chloridane, that was a neurotoxin, and you'll have deer running around in circles if they got into a water puddle that it was sprayed into, you know. It was nasty shit. But the stuff that I'm using now, no fungicides, because it's non-selective. It kills all fungus. Mycorrhizal fungi in the soil is the lifeblood of any biological system. Without it, your biology does not live and thrive. Your roots do not live and thrive. Your plants do not live and thrive. Sterilizing your soil is not a good thing at all. So, yeah. I've been trying to educate people on this thing as I learned the things that I do. I had a conversation this afternoon with Timmy Cornpecker, and you know, he wants to do more of what, you know, more of the regen ag stuff, but he just doesn't want to spend the money on a vertical tillage machine. And what I've learned with my vertical tillage machine and how I use it is not how I started using it, and how the timing is more important, and certain things about it that a lot of fellas just plain and simply don't understand. The first thing that somebody wants to do in the spring is get their ass out in the field and just go tear stuff up. My wife is one of those. She's like, it's March 25 and the frost is just coming out of the ground, and she's like, hey, can you get the rototiller over here? I'm like, oh, don't rototill. You know, why do you want to rototill? Because I want to plant. I'm like, well, okay. Well, I understand her theory on the rototiller and planting and stuff like that, because I used to do the same shit in my business, you know. And you know, she's from the Philippines. If you've ever been to the Philippines, you will know and understand that they work their ground to the point of soup in water for rice, and from that they just pulverize everything. They burn what they can off, and which is a release of nutrients in a way, but they pulverize it to the point where you can't even imagine that there's anything alive in there. But there is, and they do their thing. I hope you guys are watching me do this. This is quite the Gandhi dance here, trying to get this done correctly. I like to use this GPS. This GPS doesn't like to release my steering wheel. And oh, come on, you bitch. Yeah. Oh, wrong side. Caught it. Oh, I got it enough Okay. Woo! I just sprayed that entire field. Alright. So, wow. Yeah, I'm not quitting. Not quitting YouTube. I just was asking if it was worth it, you know. And I thought it was funny that Travis, from the rest of the story, he's like, no, it's not worth it. Damn it. It's not worth it. Well, I could understand him and why it's not worth it for him, and why he thinks it's not worth it for me, and sometimes it isn't worth it. That's why I've changed my format a little bit and what I show. There are people that would wish to do me harm, just so everybody knows this. And the people that wish to do me harm are people that shouldn't wish to do me harm, and it's fine because I can handle it. I mean, I'm not talking harm in like a physical sense, but you know, they just would like to see me go bankrupt. They would like to take all my land away and watch me, you know, just twist in the wind. That would make them, there's nothing on this planet that would make them more happier than to do that. And I gotta get out of this tractor. So, yeah, every once in a while, I'll have this hydraulic hose pop out. And I have to, is it all of them? No, just those two. Yeah, there's just some real scummy people in this world, and most people understand what I was saying, you know, and yeah, yeah, you just really have to. Hold on a second, maybe I can. Here, I can lay that down. Can you lay that? Well, I have to unfold them all the way. Hold on. Ah! Wow, that's kind of amazing. I really like this camera. Didn't know. Uh-oh, it says gimbal's got problems. What's the matter with you? Alright. Hold on. I gotta fold up my booms, right? Actually, I didn't have to. I actually didn't have to do that. There. Okay. You guys can look out the front. This is planted. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, okay. Where's my phone? There it is. I got all kinds of stuff going on here. If you can see out in front here, you can see all the residue that I have built on top of the ground. And that's perfect for me. That's what I want. It's not what most people want. Most people want to see barren dirt or just plain no-till. I've seen guys no-till and they no-till between the stalks. They no-till between the stalks. And I prefer to no-till right over top of the old stalks, if I can. And the reason for that is that new seedling will go right down the same root paths as the old corn stalk when you're doing corn on corn. And what happens then is it's much easier for that new corn, you know, corn plant to follow right down the same root path and into the moisture, and it gains a whole lot, and I mean a whole lot of it gains a whole lot of nutrients that are there as they're breaking down and becoming organic matter. Yes, the roots make organic matter. All this organic residue that's on top of the ground, that doesn't do anything for organic matter in the soil. I say that a lot and people don't like it, but that's just the way it is, right? Good morning. Yes, good morning. So I made several different clips of this during the course of the last few days. I have been extremely busy, but what I'd like to talk about here at the very end is the very beginning of this video, and how only about 3 or 5% of you make it this far. And I would just like y'all to know that that is total bullshit. I don't want you to write it in the comments that that's total bullshit, but it was. It was absolutely total bullshit. And I just can't wait to read the comments from the people that didn't make it this far. So if you could, don't say that it was total bullshit. Just, wow, that's amazing. So happy for you. And that's just where it is, because 95 to 98% of people will believe everything that I said at the beginning of this video, even though it's total bullshit. And to that point, that's what you get when you watch TV. The news. Anymore, the news. The news is total bullshit. I don't care if it's right-wing news, left-wing news. The only real news, in my opinion, that you can see on TV is either OAN or even Newsmax. Newsmax isn't as good as OAN, but there is another one, 1490 whatever news, but I can't remember. I've never watched it because I don't subscribe to it. But anyway, non-biased news. You can watch that, find it, and watch it. Then you'll actually know what's going on in the world. But just so you know, that was total bullshit. I have never been in contact with the Ukrainian government or the Russian government or the Chinese Communist Party or any of those other people. I just did that to see how many gullible folks will comment in this video about whatever it is they comment about over those soybeans. The reality is that I have slug damage and I need to plant through that slug damage. I got about 80 acres of slug damage. It's pretty bad. I mean, I wasn't happy about it, but it's not as bad as some of my neighbors, I will say that. I've been by their soybean fields and I feel very blessed that our beans are about 90% better than those. But anyway, that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and keep it secret. Don't say anything, and just enjoy the comments, because I'm sure there's going to be a few.